Hello YouTube, Dustin Hyatt here. First of all, thanks for checking out my video, and hey, check out the channel. I do a number of RC airplane stuff, probably do some car stuff in the near future as well. But anyway, thanks for checking it out. What do we got on the bench today? I've got a HobbyZone Carbon Cub S Plus. This thing is fantastic, great flyer. It is an everyday flyer for me. I will pick this up any day of the week, go fly it. Now, you may have seen I've already flown this thing in a previous video. Maybe you've seen it on the channel. It's on floats. I have flown it. It works pretty good, pretty well. It's a lot of fun. But I have done some mods, and I'll just talk to those mods real quick. I have pulled the receiver, pulled the GPS, and pulled the ESC out of here. And I did that for a couple of reasons. One, put the GPS in Dad's plane as he's learning to fly. He'd like that geofence deal. Two, the receiver is not incredibly apt to allow me to do the flaps and the flap system on here, so that I can use, the Spectrum radio setup for flap systems. And three, the ESC wouldn't do anything but a 3S battery. It was a little 18 amp unit. I don't know if that 18 amp ESC and 3S only is stock for S Plus version. I bought this used at Randy's Hobbies in Houston. I got the floats used actually at Gotta Know Joe's in Spring, Texas. And the latest mod besides that, I've gone to an AR630, and I put in the flaps. Now this is used. I didn't have the flap control rod, so I had to order the flaps. I'm sorry, I had to order the push rod set. So on to what this is about. So I got a water rudder, because this thing would, pull right or pull left when I get up to speed. It just want to go one way or the other. And I said, this sucks. Let's get a water rudder. So I'm going to break this apart and talk to the components that I got, so that if you're looking to do a water rudder, you can source the parts I've sourced. So first and foremost, I want a water rudder. So let's go find a water rudder. I found a water rudder. It is the float set water rudder assembly for the Apprentice S. I hope you can catch this, but this is how it comes. Basically, the rudder, it's all white. I've painted it to match. Basically, it's a control rod, the shaft, and the rudder. So I got those parts, sourced them. Second, I needed a way to mount. Said rudder to my floats. So I've got a Dubro set up. Dubro mounting control. Let's see what it's called. It's called the Nylon nose gear block for 5/32 wire. I tried to find a smaller diameter, and instead I've had to put some vinyl tape on the shaft to thicken it up, take some slop out. So I didn't use the hardware off of this Dubro set. It was a machined screw and a blind nut setup. I think it's meant to bite into plywood for gas planes. But instead, I set those aside, and I got some wall anchors and screws that fit the whole of the Dubro nose gear assembly. I drilled out the floats in these locations, and I glued in some wall anchors so that those screws could bite into something in the float. Last, how do we control the rudder? Now that I've got it mounted, you got to control it. I've got a push rod set here, and since I had to order a complete push rod kit just to get the flap control rod, I've got extras. Now I could have used the small aileron push rods. I opted to use one of the rudder or elevator push rods to get the servo up at the front of the float. My thinking there is twofold. One is it pushes the weight to the front of the float. This thing already sits kind of tail heavy, so it pushes the servo up here at the front of the float, which I cut out, dug down, and glued that in with foam tack as well, just like gluing in the wall mounts with foam tack. But then I could run the wire straight up into the fuselage to a Y splitter on the rudder, and lo and behold, I got lucky to use a Y splitter off of the rudder, and the water rudder and the rudder turn the same directions I didn't have to switch channels or split this off another channel and then reverse that channel so that the rudder would follow, or change how the servo mounts go in. It happened to work in this fashion. The way I mounted the servo, the push rod, where the control horn flies off of this Apprentice water rudder, it all worked great. And now I got to get out to the field, test it, see how it works. Mechanically, one nice thing is testing out at the water and trimming is that with this push rod setup, I'll be able to mechanically trim the rudder to straight. After having flown it and mechanically trimming the rudder for flight, I can then come in and mechanically adjust the water rudder. Now, I suppose I could have put the water rudder on a different channel and then I could have trimmed that channel, but hey, this is how I got it. This is what I'm gonna go with. Now let's get it out to the pond. All right, at the pond, in the water. Let's turn off throttle cut, go to reverse. Nice. Rudder works in reverse, works really well. I do have a bit of a crosswind. And a left turn here. So I might have to do some trim. Well, screw it, got airborne. And I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes too, so I'll have to call this a quick one. Ow. Ah, jeez. Like bad. All right. Flaps aren't right. I think I got a whole lot of yeah. I gotta get out of here. The mosquitoes are bad. Alright, gotta put it in here. Oh, skipped it hard. But oh well, first flight's in. Rudder works pretty good. Jeez, I'm out of here. Too many mosquitoes. Come back later with bug spray. All right, so after that flight, I did notice that there was like a pitching moment. It just kept wanting to climb, almost no setting of power. Well, any power setting above 50%, it just wanted to climb. So I had a whole lot of down elevator trim baked into this thing just to get it where it got. Plus adding flaps caused a whole lot of pitch up, and I couldn't adjust the flap systems in the radio while I was flying. So what I figured was I probably added, I did weigh the components, the servo, the control rod, and the rudder assembly. It was just a little bit over 1.5 ounces. So what I figured was I probably have 1/2 ounce or more towards the rear of the pontoon or float in the rudder and the bracketry and the screws and the glue. I didn't even weigh the glue, right? I couldn't. So the brackets, the screws, the wall mounts, the wall anchors, and all that good stuff. So there's probably 1 ounce or more back there, probably like 1 ounce, I'm gonna guess. So what I did is I added a 1/4 ounce weight last night and 0.75, 3/4 ounce on this float, just to kind of balance things out. I don't want to get a whole bunch of weight on one side of the plane and have it pull too much to the left in flight. All right, back out of the pond. Got the weights on the front. So we're gonna see how the flight does today. I did adjust the flap system, a little more nose down on the elevator with the takeoff and landing flaps. So yeah, we'll do a flight, see how it goes. See how much more elevator it's gonna take. Hopefully none. Hopefully it goes good today. So 3S 2200 battery today, like last time. And all right, here we go. Up is up, down is down, left, right, left, right. Okay. And reverse prop. Throttle cut off, don't forget that. Back it up. Forward prop. Forward prop. Try that again. So nice. And our water rudder's so nice. Instantly responds. Looks like another crosswind today. It's coming at my right shoulder here. So rethink this. I was gonna go from right to left. All right, here we go. Left to right, taking off. Oh yeah, got airborne pretty quick. Can't tell if that's because of the flap to elevator mix or what. So let's come back by and I'll throw takeoff flaps in. See what it does. Whoa! Nose up like crazy. All right. I don't know. Don't think you guys can see this. Okay. See if I hold it right here. All right, down the flap system. I got 20% for takeoff. Not enough by a lot. So I'm gonna crank it up to like 30 from 20. And I didn't test the takeoff flaps, but I'm sure they need to go up as well. All right, so let's try it there. 20 and 30. I mean 30 and 35. 30 for takeoff, 35 for landing. Let's see how it goes. Let's do takeoff flaps again because that helped a ton to get that pontoons to break away from. Oh, headed for the fountain. All right, so that felt a little better. Do flaps again. Takeoff flaps. Oh, still pitching up a good piece. Turn final. Carrying a lot of speed. Go ahead and get it down. Okay, down. Let's mess around with flaps again. Let's go to, I don't know, another 10, 40. 45, and see where that takes us. With the additional weight of the servos and the front weights, which do seem to help with normal flight. I think it sits well in the water. It's pretty even left to right. Takeoff flaps. Here we go. Oh, bounced it. I think I got some fountain there. 50% power. And takeoff flaps. Oh, even still a little bit of ballooning. All right, one more time. Ooh, high. Oh, yep, that was high. I didn't even try landing flaps yet. All right, 50 and 55. All right, takeoff flaps. There we go. Oh, get airborne. Too many skips and bounces, man. Ooh, I may have went too far. I'm at full throttle. Let's do 50%. That's my timer for the battery. Alright, so here's cruise mode flaps. Oh, that was pretty good. That was nearly spot on. I think I could back it off just a couple percentage points, 1 or 2. So, alright. So that was cruise mode takeoff flaps. So now I'm going to go takeoff flaps. Pretty much no change. Landing flaps. Pretty much no change. So sweet. All right, do a landing approach here. And we're gonna do takeoff flaps. I think I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't think I'll take the percent out. Let's go landing flaps now. Nice and slow. Sweet. I'm leaving it. 50% and 55% is where I ended up with nose down with flaps on this plane with these pontoons and this water rudder assembly setup. So there you go. That's where I'm staying at. All right, get the 4S in. Nice and slow on the acceleration. Just over. 4S got some power. One notch of flaps, no ballooning, nice. Takeoff flaps, landing flaps, nice. %, power. Get the landing flaps in. Ooh. All right, sweet flight.